Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to Screams After Midnight. I am Peter, and joining me, as always, I wonder what he's possibly going to say for his intro here. It's Tim.
Punish.
Didn't go with Garbage Day, okay. I thought that was the only thing you might say.
It's too obvious,
Too obvious, okay. Naughty. Punish. Yes, we're here today, obviously, to talk about Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2. The sequel, of course, to Silent Night, Deadly Night, which we did a year or two ago. We did? I don't know. I can't remember when we did it now, but we did the first one. And this is the notorious sequel, which is very famous for the clip of him saying it's Garbage Day, which I had seen. I had never seen the movie in full before. Had you seen this all the way through?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was a silly question, but I hadn't. And I think part of the reason why I hadn't is because I knew that a significant portion was just the first film again, so I think I'd kind of put it off for a long time. So it was interesting to discover how much of that was true and so on and so on. But this is a horror movie podcast. We get together, we've watched a horror movie, we talk about it. It's really quite that simple. This is our final Christmas special of 2020. Tackling this notorious sequel, in which the little brother of the main character in the first film, so Billy was the character in the first film who went mad and dressed as Santa and killed people on Christmas. This is about his little brother Ricky, who was barely mentioned in the first film. He was technically there, you know, he was there as a baby, and maybe there was like a small mention of him at the orphanage, and that was about it. But he is now also turned
somehow, even though he's a baby, somehow still manages to have flashbacks to like that time.
It's not even just that. Like, eventually he has flashbacks and tells stories of things that he was not only just not there. There was like scenes where no one could have possibly known what happened in that scene except for the characters who were there. And somehow we still get these exact one-to-one like sections of the first movie just playing again. It's very bizarre. You know. But yeah, so he's interviewed. He's in a mental institute, and a psychiatrist comes to visit him. It seems like he's also killed people. We don't find out until the second half of the movie to what extent that is, though, because the first half of the movie, as the psychiatrist is interviewing him, he's just telling the story of the first film. So we just get a sort of 40-minute like sort of highlight cut of the first movie. See all the main kills again in the first film because they didn't have enough money to shoot a movie. They had enough money to shoot half of a movie, so the first half of it is just flashbacks of the first one. That's Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I mean, yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but like I had heard either through podcasts or like online stuff that I think one version I heard was that they were just going to like release the movie again in theaters, and then like the director was like, no, let me like edit it and add some stuff and we'll make like a new movie. And then like another version I heard was that the director wanted to do a sequel, but the studio just wanted them to like re-edit the movie, and then they kind of had this mishmash of things. And then like another version was just that like they just straight up didn't have enough money, so they just used a bunch of stuff from the old movie. So I'm sure it's probably all a combination of like everything from that, but it's kind of wild that a lot of this movie is just the first movie.
Yeah, it's the first 40 minutes, give or take, which I was almost pleasantly surprised by. I was kind of expected to be even worse. So when it got to like, because it tells the story of the first movie in order. So when it gets to the ending of the first movie at about the 40-minute mark, I went, oh, okay, so we have like 50 minutes of like new movie to go. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So that's something. It does make reviewing it kind of weird though, because like, do we go through the flashbacks to the first movie?
I mean, do we just cut in like half of our review from the last time?
Yes, what did we think of those scenes from the first movie?
I remember when let me tell you about our first review, and then just cut to
that would be quite funny. I'm not going to actually go through the effort of doing it because it's actually more
too much work, but
yeah, it's more work than it's worth. It's actually more work to do that than to just talk about it again. But yeah, it's kind of, it makes it like a weird beast. But it is worth saying that the silly, bad ridiculousness of the last half is very much worth watching. And
totally, yeah.
So it is this weird thing where, you know, if you've seen the first one recently, yeah, you could probably just sort of like not pay attention to the first half of it as it's on and just kind of do something else.
The thing, you never want to do these movies in a marathon. Like you know, like sometimes maybe you're like, oh man, I'm gonna watch Halloween and then Halloween 2. Like you can't really do that with these movies.
No, you have to basically be ready to rewatch the first one again to watch the second one.
But I think it is perfect though for, like, you know, I'm assuming you hadn't seen the first one in a while, probably since like we reviewed it, or if you had seen it, it'd probably been like at Christmas time. So like it is kind of perfect right now where it's like, all right, I haven't seen the first one in like a year or two or whatever. So yeah, like watching it now, it's kind of it's not that bad because you're getting like, you know, the highlight reel and then also this extra ridiculousness at the end.
What is interesting though is that it shows you how much you can cut out of it and still make it feel like you've not missed anything of the first movie.
Totally.
And also noticeable is that the clips of the first film aren't the uncut version of the kills, because that hadn't happened yet when the second movie came out. That was a much later thing. Okay. So I noticed it quite heavily when the manager in the store dies in the first one. Like, I noticed how much of that kill is missing in this version because this is the original edit of it that was in theaters.
That makes sense.
As opposed to the uncut version we got later on, like, you know, fancy Blu-rays and whatnot. So that is actually really funny. But notably, because I looked this up, is that for Scream Factory's Blu-ray of this movie, they remastered from a 2K scan of Silent Night Deadly Night Part 2. But what they did for all the flashbacks of the first one, they actually used their own 4K scan of the original film they did a few years ago. So it means that the flashbacks are actually higher quality than the rest of the movie.
Interesting.
Bizarrely. not like to an extent, it's not like a great extent, but it's like there if you're looking for it. You can sort of notice it if you really pay attention that they come from an even higher quality source than the actual second movie footage does.
Do you have the Blu-ray or did you just look that up?
I just looked at. I've got the Blu-ray of the first one. I don't have the Blu-ray of the second one. But I was reading about it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I actually do have the Blu-ray of the first one, but then I have a DVD copy of like one of those like 2-for-1 movies that has the first and second on it. So I just watched it on that.
Yeah, so it's just interesting. It's interesting to see like where we get to this, where they actually intersplice their own footage of the first movie again, rather than using just the full print of the second movie, because it's, oh, hey, we've got a higher quality version of those scenes, so we'll just slice them in here, kind of thing. But yeah, so I mean, other than like the overacting from Ricky, because Ricky's like very intense and he's like, "F you, Doc," and he's sort of staring at him and like other than that, there's not a whole lot to say about the first half outside of the fact that he straight up tells him about kill scenes where the only people there are Billy and the people who die. So like, how does he know these details? He can't possibly know how he killed the two guys that were sledding, because early on there's a line where he's like, "Oh, Billy used to tell me everything," and okay, it's forced, but that's trying to explain why he knows about all these things when they were kids, and he's getting like Mother Superior's being this awful person to him at the orphanage. But like once Billy's like free and he's 18 and he's left and doing things, like how could you possibly know any of this? And why would you even tell him about the scene where the cops like almost shoot this dad who's dressed as Santa? It doesn't feel like it's relevant to anything in this movie.
This is a very good point. Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. The only things I think we should recap for the first movie that's brought up here is, and I was shocked again every time I see the first movie, or in this case the highlights of the first movie, and I'm shocked by, is just how awful a human being Mother Superior the nun is, and how much she's how directly responsible she is for creating these two serial killers. Because
without a doubt,
like, I mean, I'm not really sure why Ricky has like PTSD because he was a baby when everything happened, but like Billy, he clearly had issues, you know, around Christmas, around seeing his murder, like his mother almost raped and murdered, and his father being murdered. He clearly has issues, and Mother Superior just yells at him and spanks him and tells him to like get in line and stop being a little bitch, basically. instead of actually understanding. Like, this is like 101, like how you do not treat a child who's went through something traumatic. You try to understand, you know, what they've went through. You try to approach it from a sensitive angle, but that is not her tactic. She's like, no, you're an awful child.
Yeah, no, like there should be so many, like, you know, therapists and stuff involved. Instead, it's just like, yeah, one mean person after the other that's just like, you know, punishing them for like the atrocities that they've had to live through, instead of like, yeah, trying to understand them and like show them, I don't know, like compassion or whatever. I think I mentioned it.
I was going to say, it's not even like the movie hides it either, because the whole thing where he says punish and he says naughty,
yeah,
that comes from her. That's like stuff she drilled into him as a kid. That's not like from his like tragedy that happened. That's from her. So yeah, what are you gonna say?
Just that, like, I think I mentioned this in the first review, but one of the things that really makes me laugh about this is it feels like the universe in these movies are so intent on pushing to make these guys like serial killers. It's like everywhere around them is like something that like sets them off, like especially sexual stuff. It just seems like wherever they go, someone is just like, or like a woman is like very close to being raped.
Yeah,
it's just like constantly walking in on it and finding that. And
because it happens in the first movie, and we see it again in this one, but you know, it happens in the back of the store. But again in this one, when we get to Billy's half of the movie, or sorry, Ricky's half of the movie. Billy was the first movie. When we get to Ricky's half of the movie, he's just walking through like a park and just stumbles onto an almost rape. And I actually loved that scene for a lot of reasons. It's the first time in a movie like this where, because he you know, he kills, I mean, I guess, you know what, just spoilers, because this is not a movie where you should care about spoilers, so just full spoilers, I'm just making it clear. So he walks into this situation where it's like this couple having a picnic, and the guy's getting very forceful, and the woman, and this is actually, so even this part stuck out to me, because in the first movie, which again, we saw again, the woman in that scene, when the guy's like trying to like force himself on her, just kind of keeps being confused, saying, oh no, what are you doing, stop, no, what are you doing, as if she doesn't understand what he's doing. This woman in this scene is actually very like succinct and says, "No, you're always very forceful with me, and I'm kind of sick of it. And you especially do it in front of your friends. So I'm putting my foot down and I'm saying, weird. No, you have to wait. We have to actually, you know, act like human beings." And she's very succinct. She's very clear in what she's saying. It feels, I don't want to say better written than normal, but at the very least, it feels like it's not just like a ditz who's like, "Oh no, what's happening? What's this? Yeah. He's going for my boobs. I don't understand." Like it's written differently to that. But then the part of this that I really like is that afterwards, because he gets a bit forceful, he hits her, he storms off to get a beer from the truck. Ricky is in the truck, and it's very cartoony the way he just kind of runs him over, and then you just see from her POV from the picnic, and it's, you know, it's a good like 30-40 yards away or whatever it is, and the car just like backs up, and like there's like, you don't see the body, but you just see the car sort of like hump as it goes over the body and then drives back over it again. And she walks up towards the car, and Ricky's getting out of the car, and you think, oh, because in the first movie, the woman starts screaming when Billy kills the guy with the Christmas lights. Here, this woman walks up, and you're thinking, oh, he's going to end up killing her because she's going to be scared that he just murdered, you know, even though he was an asshole, she's going to be like scared because he just murdered him in front of her. Instead, she walks up, they make some eye contact, and she just goes, "Thank you," and he walks off. Like he's a superhero. And I just started laughing maniacally. I'm like, you know what? I buy that in the real world, like if someone did almost rape someone and then some guy came and killed them, not everyone, some people would still be freaked out, but I buy that there would be some people whose reaction would be, you know what? Thanks. Thank you.
Like the crazy thing about it is, and we see it happen in the flashback with Billy, and then it happens also again in Ricky's story, where there's an instance where he kills, you know, like an abusive boyfriend, and then the woman like gets freaked out and attacks him.
Yeah, it does happen later. Yeah, you're right.
But the funny thing is, though, it's like if you just saw someone murder your boyfriend or even just like a guy or whatever, you know, like shouldn't your even if you are freaked out, like shouldn't your instinct be to like run and get help? Instead it's like they're like, no, I'm gonna attack this guy I just saw that was willing to kill, this person that surely he won't kill me. Like,
it does seem like a dumb move because it gets into like the story here, what happened. Because there's a couple of moments where they try to like intersect Ricky into the original movie a bit more, where there's a moment where they think it's Billy coming towards the house, and it turns out to be like the deaf groundskeeper that the cop shoots. But there's a moment where
I forgot about that too. Yeah,
it's meant to be young Ricky looking up and going, "Billy, is that you?" But the way they do it, so it makes it feel more connected to this movie, is that it cuts to Billy telling the psychiatrist in his cell as if he's like acting. He's like, "Billy, is it you?" And it's to try and make it feel like it's more, because let's be honest, most of the first movie that they flash back to is not relevant in any way, other than maybe just a little the broad strokes of like what happened to his brother. Like there's nothing really that relevant outside of maybe seeing how Miller Superior treated them, which makes it really stick out, by the way, when there's like new footage and it's different actors for both like the Nice Nun and Miller Superior. Like, if you're going to change the actors, don't just show me all the footage of them in the first movie that's someone else. Like that really sticks out. But we get that he was adopted and the stepdad was really nice to him, but the stepmother was a little bit fishy with him. She especially didn't like that he kind of zoned out because he saw some nuns in the street, and he's like, and the music that plays is like it's like it's The Omen. It's like as these nuns are walking down the street. The boy is terrified of nuns.
Again, it's just like another thing where it's like there's no understanding of like, yeah, he was like an abusive orphanage that he should, be scared of nuns and you should give him like support if he gets freaked out by them. But instead it is just like a very annoyed mother being like, stop it. Yeah,
honestly, the stepdad is maybe the most like likable and sympathetic character in the whole movie, because he's the only one who's like, no, we should actually try and help him, and we should raise him and make him better, and like give him a healthy environment to grow up in and whatnot. Later on, the stepdad passes away naturally, so he's just kind of left. The first person we see him kill is an adult, because the death with the car after the funeral, which is the picnic scene, that was a teenager, so it was a different actor, right? So the first time we see him as like the actor who's in the cell is when he's working as he's like kitchen staff like somewhere, and he's like out taking out stuff to the dumpster, and he just runs into like some guy owns some other guy money, so the guy who's owed money like kills him. And it's just like a really, I guess he's meant to be like a gangster, but honestly, he never really feels like that. It just feels like some guy who's upset that he's owed money.
Yeah.
And Ricky comes over, and the death here is actually quite good. He picks up first of all, he tells him, like, he tells him he's naughty or something. He's like, naughty or something. But he grabs like an umbrella out of the trash that's like ripped, and he like stabs him with the umbrella and then opens the umbrella when it's like through his back, so like the umbrella's open. So it's just a pretty fun slasher death. But once again, Ricky, much like his older brother Billy, seems to have superhuman strength, because he's like picking the guy up by his throat with one arm and whatnot. So we're doing all that again. But I want to tell you about my favorite scene in the movie. So it's established that there's a Jennifer, this girl that Ricky falls in love with. She runs into him, he's on his bike, and she hits him with her car, and they fall for each other. They have this saucy sex scene, and the narration points out, just to show his maturity, he's like, it was my first time, Doc, and I thought it was hers too, sort of implying like where this is going to go, where he's going to get upset. But my favorite scene is they go to the movie theater to see a movie together.
Yes.
And for some reason, it's literally showing Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1 in the movie theater. They don't get to any of the relevant things that he would recognize as his brother's story. It's just when the Santa's robbing the convenience store at the start. But my favorite moment in this entire movie is...
I just want to say real quick, because this is coming up, but like, so obviously Garbage Day is like the big line that everyone references, but like pretty much everything they say during this like movie theater scene, I think is like just as funny, was making me like, really laugh out loud, and like I think there's a lot of other like meme-worthy stuff in here.
Oh, there is, and I was watching this on my own, so I wasn't laughing out loud as much. But there's a single line of dialogue in this theater scene that made me cackle with laughter. I just wasn't expecting, because I was sort of like, I was recognizing the scene. I was like, wait, this is the first movie they're watching. This is weird. But like basically he turns to her and said, because they're watching. But I was laughing at the start because he's like so like like hypnotized by the action movie trailers, because it's like more violence, more murder and death, and she's sort of looking at him and he's just kind of like, huh? Because she's like, do you like this kind of thing? He's like, what's that? He's hypnotized. He's hypnotized by the action movies. But the movie's starting. We'll get to the hecklers and the other stuff in a minute, but the movie's starting, and he turns to her and he clearly doesn't know what this is, because she's like, oh, this is meant to be scary. I'm looking forward to this. And he turns to her and goes, oh, what's this about anyway? And she goes, oh, it's about this crazy guy who dresses up as Santa and kills people. And his reaction, where he just like, he's not expecting it at all. He just goes, what? His reaction to her saying it's about Santa, a guy who dresses up as Santa and kills people. The way he turns and high pitched screams the word "what" at her. Maybe the funniest moment in any movie that I have seen this year. I was not expecting this whatsoever.
No, I totally like. Even though I've seen this movie a couple of times, like I've forgotten a lot of this stuff, because like the big things you remember are Garbage Day and the fact that they use a lot of footage from the first movie. So I completely like forgot about this scene, and I had the same reaction. Like when she describes the movie, like I also was thinking like, what? And then the way he says it, like, man, this, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Like, I can't say that this actor is good, but he is like so good. Like,
he's good. He's terrible, but he's giving it. But you know what gets me about this is that this it feels out of character for how he is, because he's really funny in the rest of the movie. Yeah. He's really funny because he's always doing this crazy-eyed kind of like, very serious, like, because at one point when the psychiatrist is talking, he notes down like red car, that something in the backstory was a red car, and Ricky just pops in from the side and goes, he looks down and goes, red car, good point, and then just backs out of the scene. Like, and it's really like over the top and wacky, but he's always doing that kind of voice. He's always that kind of intensity kind of thing. So I'm not sure if it was a direction from the director or he just decided to do something different. Because I would expect, if you told me on paper what this dialogue was and what this scene was, I would expect his reaction to be like, what? Like, I'd expect like that intensity, but he doesn't. He does this sort of cartoony, what? Like a genuine shock, and it broke me. I was laughing for like a minute after this.
Yeah, like you expect there to be like a record scratch or something, or like just cut to like someone tilting their head, like, huh? Like the way they film it, it's great. This whole scene is just fantastic, and I don't know if they are trying to be like meta or something, but like I love the end of the scene where like she's like, hey, maybe we should get out of there. And he's like, no, I'm starting to enjoy this picture. Well,
that's the thing. Like, I do wish this was the whole movie where he's in a relationship and he's like casually killing people behind her back. The whole, because that's what this scene is. Yeah. Because the hecklers up at the back are just kind of annoying at first, but then once they notice that he's kind of staring at them, they kind of say, "Oh, you hear a day?" They throw a homophobic slur at him. And the movie like has this weird moment where the girl kind of looks like, goes, well, we know that's not true, as if that will make him feel better. But like they start like basically when they almost kiss at one point, and the heckler's like, they start making smoochie noise, like oh, kiss her, kiss her stud muffin and things like that. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, and he goes away, and there's a moment where. So basically two things happen here. There's like an ex-boyfriend of Jennifer shows up like behind her. Again, very creepy in his way, but he's this really sleazy 80s dude who's just kind of like, I've been waiting for you because, I'm giving you another chance, Jennifer. It's like, giving me another chance? So weird. You cheated on me and you stood me up and ruined my sweater or something. I don't know. The 80s dialogue.
She did say something like, yeah, you ruined my sweater.
But is this a complete sleazeball? The fact that his date to the movie theater is like waiting over the aisle, like watching them. It's like, and he's like, oh, she's keeping me active and fit until you come back, baby. Things like that. But he's like John Cryer in Superman 4. But with like a couple of extra notches turned up. He's just really bad. But as that's going on, we cut to the back of the theater where these hecklers are. And basically they're really loud, because it's just one loud one. Because I say hecklers, it's one heckler and then his like quiet friend who's just kind of sitting there half asleep. But the loud one keeps like sort of like, the camera keeps sort of like panning over to the sleepy one as the guy's talking to him, so he's kind of like, oh, this movie's dead stupid, I bet he's going to go into the basement with a flashlight even though everyone's already dead, am I right? And every time he sort of like motions over to him, the camera pans over to the other guy Pardon me, I'm making myself choke here. And then, but eventually he does it. And when the camera pans over, it's just Ricky, like, really in his face, like, he's like, hey there. And then, he says naughty. Does he say naughty? I think he says naughty. Yeah.
I think he says naughty, yeah.
Yeah. So then a minute later, when the girlfriend looks up to the back of the room, you just see like the legs kicking in the air as if like, oh, maybe the hecklers are like having some gay sex or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the implication is, but it's wonderful.
It's such a great scene, and it is weird because it is kind of like cartoony, and none of the other deaths in the movie really are like even though they're like cheesy, like they're still like, you know, not like it doesn't feel that wacky. Like, this is like really nuts.
I could have had a whole middle act of him like killing people behind her back whenever he got upset by someone. It's a shame that it almost comes to a head the very next scene. But I mean, these are the two scenes. I think this movie theater scene and then the scene. Now it is the scene that includes Garbage Day, but I think maybe like if you've just seen that clip, this scene is so much longer and has so much before and after Garbage Day that is worth talking about. And
I just, before we leave the movie theater though, I do just want to also mention one. It does not look like a movie theater at all. Like, it looks like the smallest like. Like, it looks like someone like was able like to be like, all right, we got a conference room, can we try to make this as much like a theater as possible? But then the other thing is like, can you just imagine if you're just one of the other people watching that movie? It's like, all right, you got these hecklers which are annoying, you got this other guy screaming what, you know, him and his girlfriend don't stop talking, and then this other guy starts talking to her while his date is waiting in the aisle, and like, man, that would just be like such a memorable day at the movies.
It feels like the sort of story that you might tell when you've had a really bad movie. I mean, it's been a while since we've not been at the theaters in a long time, but it feels like the sort of bad movie experience that you open up. You open up a story with.
You know, I kind of want to respond to now. Like, there's like a tweet going around that a lot of people are responding to. There's just something like, hey, like, since we haven't been to the movies for a while, tell us like a memorable experience you had going to the theaters. I just want to respond now of being like, well, it's one time, and then just describe the scene.
That'd be great. And I might even be back to the movie theaters. You know, between the HBO Max thing, if Disney end up doing the same thing, I mean, movie theaters nowadays, they might be numbered.
Oh boy,
they may be numbered. So, I mean, we used to get a lot of horror movies at home anyway, because so many of them have been going VOD in the last few years, regardless. But I mean,
I don't have any like a lot of people I see are like, oh, I don't want to watch this movie at home or whatever, and like, I have no problem watching any of this stuff at home, especially like since I'm gonna have a newborn next year. I doubt if theaters were open, I probably wouldn't be able to get the chance to go there. So like,
in a weird way, Tim, given that you do review movies on a podcast, it's actually oddly convenient that you're going to have the kid in the year where all the movies are going to be available at home anyway. It's actually oddly convenient. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's going to be a couple of movies that will be released in like January through March that, you know, we'll wait until you're back before we cover them, right? That's obviously going to happen, but you know, once you are back on the show, like, it will be easier for you to watch a movie at home than it would be to find a babysitter or take a baby to some weird R-rated horror movie that.
Exactly. So like, when I heard that news, like, it actually didn't bother me, but the thing that is scary is like, I do still want theaters to be a thing, like, once, you know, things go back to normal. So like, I like them releasing stuff at home while we can't go to the theaters, but I do want, you know, this not to be the end of theaters. I don't know, it's a weird situation.
I would like that too. So I mean, hopefully things will go completely well. But anyway, to get to the next scene,
who knows? Yeah.
The rampage scene where he's otherwise other than killing like the guy behind her, right? He's otherwise keeping it cool. But he's walking with Jennifer down the street, presumably back to her place or something, and the ex-boyfriend is like set up his car, so he's working on his car in their path, and he's like, oh, hey, Jennifer, oh, you're with this, you know, ape or whatever he calls him. He calls him Kong, I think. He calls him Kong.
Yeah.
But he's like, but he starts like, oh hey, yeah, me and her had sex in the back of this car. I effed her brains out, and he's just like being a complete douche to him. And I wouldn't do that with Ricky, because Ricky just grabs the the big the clips, like the electric clips, and just like jams them into his face until the guy electrocutes to death, and
it's it's funny because I keep thinking, oh, the movie is so cheap that they had to use 40 minutes of like the first movie, but then there are like some kills like this where it's like, okay, this is like a pretty decent kill, and they have like some sparks going. It's not like, super cheap.
Yeah, some movies would have stretched the budget to make a whole new movie with the same amount of money and not had a kill like this. So I guess in that way we can thank it for that. But it is this weird oddity.
Yeah, maybe you don't have to do the exploding car.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get to that. We're not quite there yet. So basically, Jennifer freaks out, and you would think Ricky would be like have like a moment of hesitation before killing her. Not really. Yeah. He just strangles her, and that's it. She's dead. And then out of nowhere, a cop car just happens to pull up, and the cops like try to like arrest him. He's like, "Okay, no funny business, mister. I'm taking you in." And all Ricky does is grab his hand that's holding the gun and point it back at himself, and essentially that makes the cop shoot himself. Now, I want to also point out, I'm pretty sure this is a 6-shooter. This is a 6-shooter gun.
Looks about right, yeah.
And that's at least one bullet used, because now, it does, at the very end of the scene, have him run out of bullets, but I am pretty confident that he fires this gun more than 6 times total.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Over the course of this sequence. Because he just starts walking, and the music that's playing, this dun 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 dun, as he's walking down the street, going on this rampage, because then, like, so people just like come out of their house and he'll shoot them willy-nilly. Most notably, when someone comes out to empty their trash, and he goes, "It's garbage day," the famous scene that everyone's seen clips of on YouTube. But that's the context. He shoots this guy, and then the rampage continues. He continues walking down the street with a dun 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 dun, and the camera's doing this sweeping thing past them. And then he shoots a car. The car flips and explodes.
It's so weird because you don't even see like who's in the car, so it just feels like well, I guess this whole scene is like that, where it's like at least the other kills in the movie you have context for, like, because a person speaks and stuff and whatever. Like this scene, it's like a rampage is a good word for it, because it is just like such senseless violence, and it's just like, oh, this guy just came out of his house, and then like this guy was just taking out the garbage, and this person's just driving.
Yeah, it's like he's just been unlocked. He's just become unhinged, and now he's on a complete rampage. He does try to kill himself at the end, which, by the way, that's maybe the most this is saying a lot in this movie. The most unrealistic thing in this movie might be that when he turns the gun on to himself, all 3 cops who are aiming guns at him all start yelling, "No, don't do it! It's not worth it, man!" And all 3 of them are trying to talk him out of it. I'm like, bullshit. They would all just be like, "Yeah, just do it. This is quicker."
I love the one cop that said it's not worth it. Like, you don't know who this person is. Like,
but all 3 of them, it's not just one of them who's like sympathetic. All 3 of them like start yelling things like, "No, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's this, it's that." Like they're all saying stuff. It's really weird, and they all kind of like stop aiming their guns at him as well during this moment as well. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit.
And like also. Yeah, and like not to be like too much of a downer or anything, but like I can't help but think like, okay, in real life people get shot for like just carrying like a wallet or something. Like this guy that's just like waving a gun around, and like he would have, like, the cops would have shot him in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I mean
he's a white guy obviously, but
I mean maybe you can make a sort of political joke here and say that yes, he lasts longer than he should because he's white, but even then, like, there's no way in hell that all the cops will be like, "No, don't do it, don't throw your life away."
There's so much to live for.
It really stuck out to me. But when it comes back to the his cell, the psychiatrist is already dead. He's already killed the psychiatrist, and he leaves. And the whole idea is that he's going after Mother Superior, just like his brother. He's hunting her down.
Now she has like this like big messed up face, like it's all burnt.
She had a stroke apparently. She's retired. But she's got, because he ends up like wrecking one of her wheelchairs and like tossing her down the stairs, and he's running around yelling punish and yelling naughty.
Yeah.
And I feel like the movie wants us to sympathize like she's the victim here, and all I could think was, don't get me wrong, he's a psychopath, but she's kind of deserving of this. Like she turned both these boys into these killers. I'm just going to say it. She's completely
I don't feel
at
too
fault.
much sympathy.
Yeah. But sure enough, the cops get there and shoot the crap out of him. I mean, he does kill her though. The Melissa, because the good nun who's here at this point now, again, different actress, so it's you have to really listen for the names to tell you this is the same actress from the first one, or the same character, I should say. She walks up and finds Melissa Superior, and her head falls off because he's decapitated her. But he gets shot and falls out the window. But he does smile just before the movie ends to let you know that maybe he's still going to make it somehow or something. I don't know.
I hope so.
I hope so. Well, there is a third one and a fourth and a fifth.
Yeah.
So we'll get to those as the years. I think we should do part 3 next year. That'll be one of the Christmas movies next year. I think we should track down. Yeah. No one talks about the ones after 1 and 2, but we'll discover how bad they are. Because we're here to take that bullet.
Yeah. I guess if I have like one complaint about it, because this is like gloriously cheesy, and I'm laughing a lot at this movie. I think maybe my only complaint is like it doesn't feel very Christmassy, and I mean I think that's why people don't realize that the Garbage Day clip is from this movie, because he's just wearing a blue sweater. He's not dressed up like Santa.
It's not until the very end when he escapes where it actually comes up on the screen when they say he's going after the nun that it's December 24th, and that's when he dresses as Santa. So other than the flashbacks to the first one, it doesn't become relevant to Christmas again until the last like 5-10 minutes. So it is oddly not relevant for a lot of it, but of course, because so much of it is the flashbacks to the first one, there's a lot of that there. But hey, it did give me my this movie's about a guy who dresses up as Santa and kills people. What? Like that moment. So this is the weird thing. Like I actually think if you like bad movies that are cheesy and funny, this is absolutely worth seeing. It's just so weird that the first half is very disposable because it is just rehashing the first one. So but that back half is so entertaining that yes, you have to see it.
And I like the first one quite a bit, even though I mean for similar reasons, because it is over the top and cheesy and everything. So like I don't mind that they redo a lot of it if it's been a while since I've seen the first movie. Like if you just watched it, then it's a chore to watch it again. Like maybe just skip through this stuff. But if it hasn't been a while, then it's like why not just go through it again.
I like the first one a lot. I can't like I get if people say to me that they like the back half of this more than the first one because it's even crazier and the actor's doing such a hammy job that it's so entertaining. I kind of get that. I don't know if I can say it's better than the first though, just because it is only half a movie.
Right. I mean similar to one of the earlier reviews, like when we were talking about like Jack Frost 2, and you were saying like with the first movie it does still feel like they're still going for a movie, and I feel like kind of similar to this, like with the first Silent Night Deadly Night, it does still feel like an actual movie even though it's cheesy and weird and stuff. And like this, not to say that like it's not a movie or anything, it just I don't know, it feels like kind of like half a movie, or you know what I mean? Like it's like a weird mix of like old and new.
That said, the half of it that is new still feels like it looks like a movie at the very least, as opposed to Jack Frost 2, which looks like a kid's TV show set. Right. So no, admittedly, the movie theater does look suspiciously like not a movie theater, but I mean, other than that, it does look like a movie. So that's something at least. So I mean it is worth seeing if you like good bad movies. It is absolutely worth seeing this, even though it's only like half of a movie, really. But that half is very entertaining. And the sad part is that I can totally see how you make this a full movie. You just, take away the whole wraparound of the therapist, right? You just start it with him being a teenager, and then the main chunk of the movie is him actually falling for this woman and casually killing people behind her back. That is your movie. Like, that is most of the movie. And then it's the third act when he finally does something in front of her, and then he goes on this rampage, and then goes after Melissa Peary at the end. Like, that is your movie.
Yeah.
But because it's truncated down to half of a movie, like, it basically just does it in 2 scenes, and that's a shame, because those 2 scenes are glorious.
Totally.
So, and yeah, I do love the idea that other woman does come up and thanks him for killing the asshole boyfriend. I actually think that's amazing. So,
yeah, that's great.
There you go. That's Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. It is a hoot, with some caveats, but it is a hoot. So, our new segment here, which will not return probably until like much later. But looking at the the IMDb user reviews. From 6th of July 2003, Amy Catherine has this title for her 1 out of 10 review.
Well, Amy.
I couldn't decide whether to give this movie a 1 or a 10.
Okay. I follow her. Okay. It's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, the final line of the thing is, it's one of my favorite movies ever, so clearly there's stuff there. There's a 10 out of 10.
I can relate, yeah.
Yeah, there's a 10 out of 10 that's just titled Garbage Day. You know? Delightful.
Great, yeah.
There's a fun title here. This is from Coventry. This is from 2004. It just says Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 1.5.
Yeah, that'd probably be a more apt title. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. There's So Bad It's Good. There's Take Part 1 and Put It in a Blender. I mean, that's also an accurate title, I think. So, there's a delightful mix of opinions here. And despite all the low reviews, because it is technically a bad movie, there's a lot of 10s here mixed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So, hey, it is worth mentioning. But we will get to our ratings then. And it is a weird movie to rate. For sure. So, also, I just realised that I put that review section like in a different place in the 3 times I've done it.
It's fine.
I did it before the ratings this time. Last time I did it after the ratings. The time before that I did it after the other segments. Anyway,
it's okay. Yeah.
What are you rating Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2?
It is genuinely tough. Because on a lot of technical levels, it's not a well-made movie, but also, man, I enjoy the hell out of watching it. Like, yeah, I can't deny that I was probably more captivated and laughed more and was entertained than a lot of like dumb generic movies that we watch that have like 5,000 times the budget of this movie. But yeah, I mean, again, like when a movie is that kind of cheesy, entertaining, bad level, like again, there's only you can't go too high. So, but I'm probably gonna go higher than with most movies, and I guess like maybe I don't know, like I guess maybe like a 6, like. No. I don't know, like I feel like like yeah, like 7 is actually like generally good, and then like 8 is great, and like I don't know, like I guess like just based on like how much I enjoy it, even though it's like bad and cheesy, I think I'll give it a 6.
I get that logic. I kind of want to just steal it and say the same. Because I can't really go any higher than that for sure, and I feel like giving it like a genuine rating of like a 3, which a 3 or 4, which it kind of is technically. I don't think that actually represents how I feel about it because
right
it's absurdly entertaining and it's well worth watching. So I think on that grounds I am going to agree and give it the 6, which is insane because there's so many caveats. there really is, but damn if it's not entertaining as shit when you actually get to that back half. So Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. If you made it this far into the review, put the word punish into the comments to let us know you got this far. You can of course catch Tim's pose for the thumbnail now. That was a weird way of saying that, but here we go. 3, 2, 1, pose. There you go. So
I'm trying to do a garbage day thing, but
yeah, I just realized I should have been wearing a Santa hat during these reviews, but oh well, I've forgotten, and this is the last one, so oh well.
I'll add it in post.
I'll wait for the thumbnail. I'll put one on for the thumbnail.
There you go.
But that is Santa Did Late Part 2. So that should be the last episode before Christmas, I think. I mean, if I just yeah, that should be going out around the 22nd, give or take. So have a nice Christmas. You can, of course, give us a Christmas gift by going over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, as we mentioned earlier, and supporting us over there for as little as $1 per month. You can, of course, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, give us a good rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast from. All these things are very important and help us out a lot. Thank you for being with us throughout 2020. It's been a weird year, of course, in the world. And 2021 is going to be a weird year for personally because, you know, Tim's becoming a dad and is gone for a few months. Not to worry, we have banked episodes for pretty much that entire time, so you're not going to miss episodes of the show week to week. But there's going to be this weird gap where Tim's going to come back after like 4 months of being gone and being like, okay, he looks really different because he's been away doing other things for 4 months. But you should not feel that too much on your end because, like we say, we have episodes for every week. So look forward to that. I guess the reason why I'm emphasizing that here is because this isn't the last thing we're recording, but it's the last thing we're recording close to the end of the year that's relevant to when we're recording it. So thank you for being Screams fans throughout the years and throughout this weird year. Hopefully we've helped get through the misery of 2020. And hopefully you enjoy all the content we've recorded for the next 4 or 5 months. That's you know, mix of different things. So yeah, so have a nice Christmas. Catch us on Twitter at Screams Midnight. I didn't mention that. Do that too. But have a nice Christmas. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas, guys.